You know, the bike setup and the bike tuning is something that really has given me peace over the years. In the beginning of a career, or in the beginning of my especially long distance career, there was tweaking and twerking and trying to get all these things, you know, to the perfect little details. I remember my first Hawaii, the night before the race, at 8 o'clock, I was at a friend's house getting a special chain lube because I thought that would make my bike faster the next day. Whereas nowadays I have a team of mechanics and a team of aerodynamicists, and we do testing. We build a solid piece of equipment that I can rely on 100%, that I know is extremely fast, and really gives me peace of mind because I can focus on the essentials. I can focus on my body position. I can focus on my training, and that really gives me a lot of confidence on race day.
Well, of course, I switched to Canyon actually because Jan was riding the bike. So marketing works. So I absolutely love the bike. His setup is probably a little more dialed in than mine. He's got, you know, full custom front end and everything. When you have a couple of world titles under your belt, you get those kinds of things. Unfortunately, I don't have. I have the ITU long course world title, but none of the big ones, none of the Kona, the 70.3, or the Olympic title. So I have the stock front end, but it is set up very well for myself, and I'm confident in my position. And I think the name of the game with the bike really is, can you hold? You've got this fancy bike and all these great upgrades, but if you can't hold the position well, then of what relevance is it? So I've really practiced being able to hold the time trial position well, being relaxed. An Ironman, you should never be like, you know, far outside of yourself. It should be quite easy most of the time. How are you going to do something for nearly 8 hours? Hopefully not 8 hours this race, hopefully well under 8 hours. But how are you going to do something for that long and it be hard, right? You know what I mean? It's a crescendo, right? It gets hard in hour 6 and 7 if you're doing it properly. So the bike should be, you know, relatively controlled. Towards the end, maybe you start to muscle it a little bit, but for the first 3 hours on that bike, I should be, you know, very controlled and within myself, and that just comes from practicing time trialing. And in Tucson, where I'm coming from, you know, I practice steep hills. I still try and stay in the time trial position just to become more competent. And then in a nice course like this, relatively flat, just light uphill, it should be a lot easier to hold time trial. So we'll see.